Hello, and welcome to the Aikido briefing, where we discuss the latest and greatest changes in Aikido security over the last 2 weeks. I have some great updates that I want to share with you today. And to be honest, I just want to get straight into it. So the first one that we're going to be talking about here is inline comments in pull requests. Now, this is an awesome feature because what this means is that as soon as you make a pull request in your version control system, GitHub, BitBucket, GitLab, Azure, then you can get immediate feedback during that pull request review cycle of any vulnerabilities that have been in. Now, these can involve SAST, infrastructure as code, or secrets. And what we'll see down here is we get really helpful comments, including what's actually been detected, what are the remediation steps, and then we can view the details in Aikido ourselves of this exact kind of branch and this scan here. So we can see all the issues. But we can also just view them and continue to view them right in that pull request. So this gives us that ability to immediately know what's going on. And for developers, they're going to love this because they don't even need to get out of their original workflows. They have all the information they need to go ahead and review that pull request. The next feature I'm going to dive into is just a simple one, but one that can be quite helpful. Aikido obviously does lots of different scans. One of the scans that we can do is for licenses, license risks. Now, some people, this is very important to. They want to know that immediately. They want that in their threat feed. Other people, they want to be able to review that separately, not have it in their threat feed. Well, you can now adjust that. So right now we have it set so that licenses aren't going to show up in our threat feed. As you can see here, there's no option for license risks. All we need to do is head to reports, licenses, and SBOMs. And we can very quickly turn that on. Here, we're just going to say that we only want to see critical and high severities, not all licenses. Once we apply this change here, if we head back to our feed, we have this helpful license issues. We can view this in our feed just along with all the other issues that we have. Another feature that I want to discuss here is just some changes we've made in the IDE. So the Aikido obviously has an IDE extension for VS Code. And now we've done some improvements to this. So if I head over to a file, this is a JavaScript file. Here we'll notice we have some hard-coded secrets. Now, obviously, these are underlined and let us know. But in our activity bar, we can also see these and explore them. We can go in and go between them. So that information is just going to be so much easier for developers to be able to understand and quickly see, hey, what's going wrong? And as we switch between files, we can see that it updates so that we immediately know what's wrong in that particular file, which is a cool little update. All right, heading back over to Aikido, we have some other cool little changes that we've made. For all the people out there using Zen, we have some updates. So if we click on one of these applications where we are protected by Zen, and if we click on routes or outbounds, you'll notice we get these great little graphs here. This just shows us the amount of requests that we've had in the last 7 days. So this helps us understand our application more and what is being demanded from it. Another really cool visual feature that we've added here is to do with our SAST detection. If we go and filter by SAST issues, I'm going to click on this one here, potential SQL injection. Once we open this, you'll notice our code analysis window highlights some areas. This actually highlights sources, propagators, and sinks in our code. So it just helps us understand how these vulnerabilities are put together in a very visual, easy way. All right, staying in the dashboard for the last update that we'll give of the day, we're going to go ahead and go over to domains and API. This feature is to do with our API fuzzing. And if we go down here and click on one of these, we can see we have some critical issues. We've got a lot of critical issues here. But if we click on this, we'll now see SSRF, server-side request forgery. We're now able to detect server-side request forgery vulnerabilities with our API fuzzing. And we can see all kinds of information, including the payload that was used and the response. So a cool feature that's going to help us be protected from server-side request forgery in the future. There are, of course, lots of other little changes that we've made. In our local scanner, we now have full support for Windows, and you can also link a single container image with multiple different teams. And for Zen, we've introduced support for .NET Core 9. And finally, we have also found an additional 29 vulnerabilities that were previously unreported as CVEs in the vulnerability databases that you can find on our Aikido Intel page. All right, that's been the briefing. I'll see you again in another 2 weeks. Make sure you stay tuned to see what else we've added into Aikido security. And I gotta say, we have some really cool stuff coming up. So you're gonna wanna stick around.